and welcome to today's presentation on employer expectations for new and current employees provided by the PA CareerLink Huntingdon. So some of the expectations that I'll go over for new employees, the employer will start to look for these during your interview to see if you're going to be a good fit for the organization, and they'll try to see if you have these qualities to meet these expectations before they bring you in, and then they also expect you to maintain these expectations throughout your length of employment. So we'll go ahead and get started here. Okay, so just to define expectations, which according to dictionary, expectations is defined as a belief that someone will or should achieve something. So employers have expectations that you as an employee will meet certain standards that they have, which most employers have pretty much the same standards when it comes to expectations, which I'll go over here shortly. But they also sometimes have particular ones that are kind of dependent upon the organization or maybe the type of industry they're in. So you'll definitely want to check with them to make sure that you understand all of the expectations. Okay, so now to get started on some employer expectations that they have for employees. First is professionalism. They expect you to dress professionally and also appropriately for the position. So if you're working in the construction industry, obviously they don't expect you to wear dress pants, a button-down shirt, but if you are in an office setting, then that would be something that would be expected. So you want to make sure that you do dress professionally and according to your position that you have. And then also just to be honest, to not lie or try to hide anything that you're doing at work, to be upfront and honest. So next is just good time management skills. They want to make sure that you can prioritize your workload, that you can get through each task in a timely and efficient manner, but you're not rushing through things and just hurrying up to get them done, but you can manage your time effectively. Also, just to have good, excellent customer service skills. So even if you're not dealing directly with the public per se, you're still going to be dealing with customers in a sense, whether it be other coworkers that you're interacting with, or even if you are trying to sell a product, or if you have other clients, or just dealing with another business, those are your customers. So you want to make sure you have good customer service skills, just being polite, being friendly, that sort of thing. And then also another expectation is that you have a strong work ethic. So whenever you are at work, you're there to work. You're not there to try to socialize all day, or you're not there trying to be on the phone handling personal matters all day. When you're at work, you are working. Okay, so to continue on with employer expectations, one is to take initiative. So the motivation to accomplish work on your own, especially when you're a new hire, you need to show that you're ready and able to do the work and do it by yourself. And then also as you go through your career, you want to make sure to show that you're ready, able, and willing to do the work and to get things done without being asked. This will help you in the future if you would ever decide that you want to apply for a promotion or any type of leadership position. Taking initiative also to figure out solutions to problems when they arise. Try to be creative or think outside of the box whenever you have any issues that arise. And then also, just be open to additional tasks outside of your normal job duties and responsibilities. That will also help you if you ever want to get some type of promotion or any leadership opportunity. And then also just have a positive and upbeat attitude. Positive attitudes are infectious and they can spread amongst your coworkers. So if you have a positive attitude and maybe another coworker is kind of down that day, having a positive attitude can help bring them up and lift their spirits. But also the same as a positive attitude can spread a negative attitude can do the same thing. So if you have a negative attitude, you can bring down others in your office and you can bring down the morale of the office, and that's never a good thing. And then also, job performance is usually better whenever you have a positive attitude as compared to someone who has a negative attitude. Also, just that you're results oriented, so you stay focused and you stay on task. You're not browsing through the internet, you're not up walking around the office, you're kind of staying on task and getting your work completed. Also, that you're able to meet deadlines. Employers have deadlines that they have to meet as well, so if you can meet your deadlines, you can help your employer meet those deadlines that they have as well. And just also that you are going to be dependable and reliable. I will say this is probably a big one for employers, is just that you're going to be dependable and reliable. So what that means is do what you say you're going to do. Also take responsibility for your actions and arrive to work on time and stay until your shift is completed. That is a big key for employers, and what they're looking for is just to make sure that you're going to arrive to work on time. Because that not only affects the employer, but it also affects other coworkers. Now they have to stay to cover your shift, or things get behind, work gets piled up. So just make sure you arrive to work on time and that you're staying until your shift is over. Also, if you're going to miss a day of work for any reason, if you're sick, just make sure you call in and let them know that you're going to miss work. Make sure to abide by the call-off policy, though, that your company has. Some companies have that they require a 1-hour notice before your scheduled shift, or some require 2 hours, so just make sure you know the policy on that. And then also, if you're going to be late for any reason, make sure you give them notice. So if you're on your way to work, you get a flat tire or there's a car accident, whatever the case may be, just call in and say, I'm going to be late, but I'm going to be there as soon as I can. And make sure that you try to do that. Make sure you try to get there as soon as you possibly can as well. So to continue on, team player. This is a big one as well. So just your willingness to collaborate with others to accomplish work goals. I understand that you don't always are friends with everybody you work with, or that you don't get along with everybody you work with, but just remember to be cordial and to work with them in a cooperative manner when you're at the workplace. And also try to avoid the "that's not my job" mentality. Because that's something your employer will remember if you're not willing to help out, or if you constantly say, well, that's not my job. That'll go a long way if you are willing to take on new responsibilities or to help out other team members. Also, they like to have, for employees to have kind of an entrepreneurial spirit. So just always trying to find new ways to accomplish tasks, and also find ways to improve processes so that you can be more efficient. Also, if you would have a desire for continued learning. So some jobs that people have, they're constantly changing, regulations are changing, or equipment's changing, software's changing. So just make sure that you stay up to date on those job changes. And then also learning new tasks. So learning new tasks can make you more valuable to the organization as well. And then also confidentiality. This is a big one. So just not release private or sensitive company information to the public, even to your family or the media. So kind of what happens at work, you should keep it at work and not bring it home and tell anyone else either. So you may ask, well, why do employers have all these expectations? And one of the reasons that employers do is they want a return on their investment, which their investment is you. They spend a lot of time interviewing, so that takes away time that they have to do other essential responsibilities. And then also orientation of new employees, that costs time and money because there is another employee that is involved in the training. So you're essentially paying 2 employees to do the same task at the same time. So it can get kind of costly to always have new employees. And money is also spent on pre-employment screenings, such as background clearance, physicals, and drug screens. So that's why whenever they have new hires, they try to screen to make sure that people have these qualities and capabilities to meet their expectations. And then also employers want to maintain sustainability of their company. So if they are continually having to hire new employees, it doesn't bode well for them in the long run for the organization because, like I said, they're constantly having to spend money and they're also not wasting time, but spending time interviewing and then training these new employees. So it takes time away from their other job responsibilities. So employers want individuals that will meet their expectations and also to help the organization succeed in the long run. So how are you able to meet and exceed those expectations? The first thing is just to manage those expectations. Take the time to understand what your boss expects of you. If you're unsure of what the expectations are, ask. It's always important to have a clear understanding of what your employer expects of you in your role in your position. So next is communicate. It can be written in like an email type thing, or a text if you have their number, just anything written, or it can also be verbal, so over the phone, or it can be in person. But just be clear and concise, just ask, what is your expectation of me in this position, or what's your expectation of me on this project? And that kind of goes into the next point about asking questions. So if you're not sure, ask questions and seek clarification about additional details or responsibilities or what your role is, like I had just mentioned. And also try to offer possible strategies for if there is a problem or if there's a project, offer strategies to that, because you'll be likely to be seen as a crucial contributor to the team and could be asked to participate or even take the lead on future projects. And then also, like I had brought up, one of the employer expectations is a positive attitude. So a way to meet that is to display a positive attitude. And like I said, you're not always going to have a good day, but try to stay positive during challenges and difficulties and stressful times. It can go a long way with fellow coworkers. If you are having a bad day or if there's something going on in your personal life, just try to leave that at the door whenever you come into work and not to bring that into work. But like I said, not everyone everyone doesn't have a good day every single day. So just try to make the best of the situation and try to have a positive day. Next slide here. So next, just like I mentioned, one of the expectations is to be a team player. So again, try to be a team player to meet that expectation. Also, whenever you're being on a team and you give suggestions, you also want to be a good listener in return and listen to your other coworkers and their ideas and their suggestions. And then you just want to work cooperatively and effective with your other coworkers. Also, become self-motivated. So just be a go-getter. Offer to take the lead on projects or tasks and show that initiative like I had mentioned earlier. Also, just be flexible, kind of have like a go with the flow type attitude, and be adaptable to change, because especially with the COVID-19 pandemic that's occurring, you're constantly changing things, and that can happen in the future. Technology is always changing, so you just got to be ready and be adaptable to that change. And then also just pay attention to detail, correct and spot errors and inaccuracies as you see them. Mistakes happen, so if you see a mistake, just correct it. And if it would be another coworker's mistake, just kind of go to them and say, hey, I was checking your work and I found this mistake or this inaccuracy. But then also expect that in return. Be open to feedback and constructive criticism. And that's how you kind of learn and grow. So just be open to that kind of feedback as well. While it's good for employers to have expectations of their employees, it's also good to have expectations of your employer. So for example, some of the expectations that you can have is to be appreciated for the work that you do. Also to be paid timely and to be paid for what you're required to do at the job site. Also, they hold you accountable. So to